Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the release daily for the HobbyKing Cherokee. Now this beautiful model you see in front of me, we've already teased with an announcement daily, and you've probably seen it in the weekly updates as well, and of course the Tundra video in which it was initially teased. It's now 1700mm span. This is plug and fly, and this is the HobbyKing brand. Now for those of you that don't know the difference between say Durafly or Avios and HobbyKing branded models tend to be that much simpler. They tend to need a little bit more work, maybe a bit of glue to assemble, whereas the Durafly and Avios typically don't. But because of that, they're a little bit cheaper, and also they're lighter. So if you're looking for good all-round sports scale models, or even just sports models, HobbyKing is a brand to be checking out for sure. Definitely in terms of value for money and flyability. All of these designs just fly so well. Again, thanks to that simpler design and construction technique, and then therefore lighter wing loading. So back to the model itself, it is 1700mm span, which may sound quite big, and actually it is quite big, but on the grand scheme of things, the scale of it is very nice indeed and very transportable. I say that because the main wing is in two parts and just held together by a single screw. The motor pod just pulls out, and we'll come to that in a second. And even if you wanted to, the tail plane is just screwed on. You can unscrew that and break it all down very easily, especially if you want to put it in your backpack to go sloping. Now options for this model, it will slope in a good headwind. It's a very nice tow model, and it also comes with the EDF power module. Now the module itself, it's a 64mm fan. If I lift the magnetically held canopy hatch off, you may just be able to see this release pin here. Pull that out a bit. Now this quick release pin, essentially it's just a metal rod that goes through the top center of the fuselage here and locks in the motor pod. So if you wanted to fly in a pure glider version, you could very easily pull the pin out, pull the pod out, disconnect it from the supplied 30 amp speed controller, and hey ho, you have a glider version. Just going to pop that back in. Now the EDF motor, it flies extremely well. It makes for a very good sports scale glider. Lots of fun down at the park or the local patch. Surprisingly aerobatic for what it is. It flies inverted very nicely. So a good all-round and stable flying platform. So the EDF motor can come off, as I said, but actually I prefer flying this glider most when it's in its EDF form. It's just a lot of fun. Speaking of EDFs, for the battery to power the model, to power the EDF system, you can go anything from a 1300 3S right up to a 1800 3S. Would recommend a higher C, as with these A-spec packs. It does need the nose weight first of all, but also being an EDF you want as a higher C rating as possible. So starting from the 1300 up to the 1800 3-cell would be bang on the money for this in EDF form. Now in that powered sense, it does come with that 30 amp speed controller. As I said, the part of the heat shrink has been removed to allow better cooling for the metal plate on the speed controller, and there is a air in hole here, again to aid better cooling of the motor and ESC. And you'll also notice this little hole here. That is not necessarily for cooling, that is in fact for the other core feature of this model. If I hold it up, again, you would have seen this teased in the Tundra video. You'll notice an additional servo here. This is why this model is for 4 to 5 channel, because there is an included servo release mechanism for a tow line. So if you've got a model like the Tundra, for example, these two go hand in hand. And if you haven't tried your hand at tow flying, Tundra's a great model to do that with, and then so is the Cherokee. With that built-in release mechanism, it's all made for you. Very easy, and a really nice twist to your regular flying down at the field with either the EDF motor or even off of a slope. Now the nose and the bottom have the pre-applied PVC nose protector and belly protector. There is a landing wheel pre-installed in the center, and you'll also notice here this pre-installed tow hook if you want to say use a bungee assist to get this model airborne if you don't have a Tundra. Now the decals that you see applied to this model come applied out of the box. There's actually a mistake in the first batch of manuals. It says multiple decal options included. That's not the case. These are the sets you get, and it is pre-applied, so it actually saves you quite a bit of effort on the workbench getting this model ready for flight. The tail plane itself just screws on, and you connect to the pre-installed push rods, and the wing is 2 parts, and the all surfaces are pre-hinged, and the actual vertical surface is part of the fuselage. Now the fuselage itself, you probably won't be able to tell here, but it's got some nice ribbing detail molded into it, and it's very, very lightweight too. Servo-wise, if I turn it over, you'll see very simple but very effective, as with all of the new models coming under the HKing brand. You've got the 9-gram servos pre-installed throughout, 2 in the wing. The wing servos have these aileron cover, reducing drag and just improving all-round looks. If I turn it around again and open up the canopy one more time, you will see, well, first of all, you'll see my own 6-channel receiver that I've just loosely put in here. That's my 6-channel receiver, plenty of room for that at the back, but if I move those wires out of the way, you'll see the 2 pre-installed servos for the rudder and elevator, and of course the tow release servo that I've already mentioned. Battery-wise, the 18 or 1300 fits in this pre-molded bay all the way to the front. That is very, very important. And then for optimal CG, put the receiver back in there. For optimal CG, you do want the speed controller on top of the battery like that when you connect it to the ESC and install it in the model. The reason being, this ESC placement is critical for CG, and this cooling hole again gives optimal airflow over the battery and ESC. So cooling is perfectly adequate on this model. I'll just take that out and pop the battery out and replace the canopy. So that is it in a nutshell. The HAL Cherokee from HKing, a HobbyKing brand, available right now. A very good price, a simple model but a beautiful model as well. It is only 4-channel. You of course can set up the ailerons to be flaperons if you have a short area in which to land. They are very, very effective, I can assure you. And again, it's bolt together. For added security of the wing, you may want to add some tape. For example, I've added some clear blend dome here that you may or probably cannot see. Just gives me a little more security when I'm doing those high G maneuvers, which it can do very, very well. It glides very well, of course, being a glider, and it's fully aerobatic in a sports sense. Inverted flight is actually a lot of fun with this model as well. There we are, 1700mm HAL Cherokee from HKing, HobbyKing brand. Look out for more models coming from HKing very, very soon. You will enjoy this for its good looks, its simplicity, and for just how well it flies. So check it out on the new items page. Have a look at the product video as well, more details of the model itself and showing exactly how it flies. And we will also have a product profile on this coming very soon as well. So HAL Cherokee, 1700mm, plug and fly on the new items page from HKing. Check it out now.